Debonair. Okay.
All right, perfect. All right, what's good, y'all? You already know what time it is. I am here with Mr. Wayne's Perspective. It's been a long time, brother. Go ahead, give everybody the intro. Tell us who you are, you know, where you're from, you know what I mean? What made you want to start doing podcasting?
All right, what's going on, everyone? So I'm originally from Petersburg, Virginia, but I currently reside in Richmond, Virginia. It's not too far. Based on where you go, it's about a 25, 30-minute commute. What made me start a YouTube channel was, well, let me back up. I should have started one a long time ago, but what made me want to start one was I was listening to someone's channel last year. I can't recall whose channel it was, but this brother had said that having a podcast of some form is a valuable thing because everybody should have a voice, like everybody should have a platform to speak their mind. And I was like, that made sense. And the more that I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to create one. So then I went through certain ideas like, okay, should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? And then somebody real close to me, my lady, I was talking to her about it, and she was like, you know what? All these ideas that you have, you know, she know I like politics, and if we're gonna get into that, I got another story on that. She know I'm into politics. She know I'm into hip hop. She know I'm into pro wrestling and just things dealing with the Black community. So she was like, you know, why don't you take all those ideas and talk about those? And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I went through a lot of names. At first, I went through what? Man, I can't recall the first name I did, but after a while, I went with Wayne's Perspective, and I was like, okay, so that makes sense. So that's how I built from there. And of course, I was listening to your channel and everybody else's channel, just getting a lot of perspective on many different things. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And another thing I want to throw in there is that my lady, she'll probably laugh at me when I tell this story, but I don't like the way that I sound recorded. I really don't. I never have. So I was like, okay, so how am I going to do this? You know, because one time I was at a previous job, I had a call center job, and the trainer had monitored one of my calls and played it back. And this was back in 2006.
Right.
And I was like, does that sound like me? And the guy was like, yeah, that's you, Wayne. So from that point on up until now, I was like, I don't like the way that I sound recorded. So now I'm getting to a point where I'm almost forcing myself to get used to my voice because, of course, since I want to have a career in politics, I'm going to be doing a lot of speaking. So even if I don't go back and listen to my own recordings, I at least want to be comfortable with my voice.
Right.
So that's how that happened. So overall, that's what made me want to start a channel, just give my own thoughts about a lot of things and pretty much go from there. The financial aspect or getting paid from it, okay, that's fine, but I don't want to just base it on that. I at least want to get my voice out there about a lot of things and go from there, see where it takes me.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's not. I'm not gonna lie. I hate my voice. I hate how I hear it, man. It's so annoying. I'm like, everybody like, man, that's how I sound. Everybody like, yeah. I'm like, oh wow, okay, all right. This is horrible. I hate my voice, man.
Yeah.
That's good, man. But yeah, I mean, let's get straight into it, man. You know, and you kind of spoke on it as far as like the Black community and things of that nature, man. In my opinion, I'm not really liking where where we are currently. It doesn't look like we're getting any better or going to a more positive note. But what is your thoughts on, first of all, the Black community, where we are as a whole, and where do you see it going? Do you see it going, you know, do you see it going in a negative light? You see it going in a positive light? Where do you see it?
Let's see, man, that's a good question. So in present day 2024, like right now, as we sit right here, I think, well, let me back up. I don't think things are getting any better at the moment, especially when it comes to the dynamics between Black men and Black women. It seems like every day when there's a video that's coming out where you got some woman saying she don't like this about Black men, or the dating pool sucks or whatever. It's like the more content that we get like that across these social media platforms, it's going to continue. So I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. It's probably going to take quite a few decades to get there. So, I mean, and also what's exacerbating that is the social media aspect, social media and reality TV. That's why we're in the boat that we're in now, because of those two things. Now, there's some benefits with social media. I don't think there's many benefits with reality TV. Let's keep it real. But as far as where we are right now in this space, if you will, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. And again, the more content that we get, specifically from our sisters, and all of that, and just this dynamic or this war between the genders, specifically us, because you notice it's not whites that talk like this. Muslims, Asians, Puerto Ricans, they don't have the conversations that we have. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I do. Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah, so overall, we're gonna be like this for quite some time. Hate to say it.
Yeah, no, and it hurts because you see
And
it. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't know what it's gonna take, but it's gonna take something not necessarily catastrophic, but it's gonna take something eventful, for the lack of a better word, to bring us together, you know, where we should be, to have all us on code. It shouldn't be the quote unquote sisterhood on one side and then the quote unquote brotherhood on one side. We should be on code, as they say.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to take for us to get there, but it's going to take a while. And the way things are right now, you know, it's going to be like this for a minute.
Yeah, and it hurts, man. Honestly, it really hurts because we already have, like, you know, the race war going on. We have now the race war and then the gender war within the race war. It's just like, bro, if it's not one thing, it's another. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I don't.
Yeah.
Going from you know, because I grew up in low income area housing. You know what I mean? Like Section 8 housing and stuff like that. I was born and raised, and I moved out of there. I want to say I moved out of the hood. I want to say 23. I'm 30 now, 31 now. I moved out 23, 24, so about 7 years. And to see it from there, and then now I'm living in a not really a high class area, but a middle class, high class area. It's like night and day. You know what I mean? The way the people move, the way they act, the way they talk about themselves, themselves within the community. And it's just like you said, you don't hear this in the Caucasian community. You don't hear these types of talks in the Hispanic community, but we have to have these talks in our community, man. Like that's how far behind we are. You know what I mean? And it hurts, man, because you see it all the time, and it's just like you said, you don't see it getting better. I don't see it getting better either. I don't see it getting better either. And social media has made it worse for us entirely, but also for our women. You got OnlyFans, you got all these things people want to get active on and stuff like that, trying to go viral on TikTok, and it's doing more harm, in my opinion. It's doing more harm than it is good. So
that's true. Yeah, especially that OnlyFans part. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of OnlyFans, I wanted to transition from that. I did I know you did a reaction to one of the videos for Diamond the Body, right? Who's I'm still trying to figure out who she is exactly. I don't. I still don't know. But from my understanding, she's a.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was just gonna say you talking about the video that you did that I was attempting to react to, but it had a lot of feedback. That's the one who said she had 2,000 bodies.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what she does, why she's famous, why she even blew up. Because to be on Tasha K, you know, and Tasha K, she got her own issues, but to be on Tasha K, you gotta have a pretty decent following. You gotta be somebody to be featured on Tasha K's episode. You know what I mean? So from what she was saying, because I had to go back and rewatch the full interview. What she was saying, she was been stripping since 18. I think she's like 28 or 30 now, however old she is now. And doing that, sleeping with her clients, doing OnlyFans and all these things. First of all, let me say this first of all, before I get to my question. Do you think she really slept with 2,000 dudes?
Oh man, I want to say no, and like you said in your video, it was capped because that's a high number, and like you also said, we don't know 2,000 people, you know, or anywhere close to it. And since you brought it up, what I was trying to say in the reaction video that I attempted to do was my issue was number one, making this public. You see, this goes back to what we were saying earlier about everybody is just putting everything online. I don't understand it. Why make such things that used to be kept under wraps way back when you're making it public? Then
Right.
you want to catch feelings when people talk about it. Like I said, when you look, see, you done got me started. Oh, we're gonna talk tonight, brother. So my thing is, my thing is when you say stuff like that, you know people are gonna talk. I mean, come on now. You know people are gonna say something about it. You cannot make something like that public and just expect nobody to say nothing at all. And then you got that part. Then you got the part when she's laughing and joking about it. And I said this on my channel a lot. Everything is a damn joke, right? Until
Yeah.
something serious happens. And it just bugs me, like she just laughing and got this big smile on her face. And I'm like, girl,
Ain't
this
nothing
ain't
funny.
nothing to be celebrating. It's nothing to be happy about. It's nothing to, you know, champion. It's nothing to be encouraged about. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's really annoying, man. Because it hurts because I'm looking at it like, and again, like I said, Tasha K, she got her own issues going on, but I'm looking at it like there's little girls, not just little girls, but there's little black girls watching this right now, thinking this is okay. And this is being publicized. This is being shown. This is being promoted. This is being pushed into our little kids. I'm the oldest out, technically there's 7 of us, but I'm the oldest out of 6. My youngest brother is still in middle school. Like they're the ones that really put me on to a lot of these because I don't know anything about a lot of these things that goes on. My brothers, you know what I mean, all my siblings and stuff like that. My brothers, my younger cousins and stuff like that. A lot of my coworkers, they're the ones that really put me on to a lot of these things. But these kids are very advanced for their age. They know what OnlyFans is. They know what sex work is. They know what prostitution is. It's a completely different world. Back when I was in middle school, I didn't know anything about those things, man. I was still in middle school. Hell, I still thought girls had cooties. You know what I mean? So to see that and to see this is what's being pushed on YouTube and these little kids is watching it, it's such a scary thing because it's this hypersexuality thing that they're constantly trying to push. The Diamond the Bodies, Sexy Red, Sukiana's, what's the other girl name with the orange hair?
Yeah.
Ice Spice and stuff like that. They're constantly being pushed, and these kids know these girls, Sexy Red's lyrics like the back of their hand. You know what I mean? So it's just like you said, I don't see it getting better. I see it getting worse. So I definitely agree there.
Yeah, that is true.
Definitely agree there. But so also too, we were talking about off camera, obviously, we were talking about what was going on with Camille Winbush also starting her OnlyFans. I think she's been doing OnlyFans now for about 1.5 years, 2 years now, something of the sort. And I guess my question to you is, she said something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. She said that she spoke to her parents about doing OnlyFans, and her parents was like, they were like, yeah, we signed off on it. My thing is to you, if you were to find out that your daughter or son, but if you were to find out that your daughter did OnlyFans, or she came to you asking you, telling you, hey, listen, I'm about to start, what would be the first thing that pops in your head if your child comes to you and says something like that, man?
Well, first thing, my reaction, that's an immediate face palm right there. That's one of the first things I would do. And thankfully, I don't have a daughter. I have a son. He's 17. He turns 18 on September 21st. So thankfully, I don't have to go that route, you know what I'm saying? But if I had a daughter and she wanted to get into that line of work, oh yeah, I'm 100% against that because I know what that line of work brings and all of that stuff. I mean, but my instant reaction, face palm, and yes, as a father, I would be half outraged and half sad that, okay, of all the opportunities that we have in this country specifically, that's the lane that you wanted to go to. And speaking of her, Miss Winbush, it's like, okay, and yeah, I did react to one of your videos when you talked about this. My thing is okay, you want to get your name out there, girl, it's several other ways you can get your name out there and get the people, to get the people on your side, if you will,
Yep.
rather than going the OnlyFans route. You know what OnlyFans is about. I mean, nobody should be naive at this point in 2024. You know what that's about, and you know what kind of stigma that has with it. So that's
Yep.
your only option. And yes, I get the point about, you're not acting right now. Okay, look, you have some type of talent, you can do something.
Exactly.
Why OnlyFans? It's like that. It's almost like that line of work. It's not the last. Well, you ask me, it shouldn't be on the table as an option anyway. But that's the first route they go,
Right.
and I don't get it. And the parents, for the parents to sign off on that, that's even more sad.
Yeah.
And you can't convince me that they don't know what OnlyFans is. They may not know a lot about it, but I know somewhere along the way they've heard of that. OnlyFans, OF, whatever you want to call it, they know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And that leads me to believe, man, honestly, I think that it's like they either, was using her or living through her. Like, you know how people try to live like vicariously through their children. You have a father that that was a boxer his whole life but never made it pro. What does he do with his son? Force his son to go through boxing. The child doesn't want to box, he's just doing it because his father is doing it. Or you got the mom that did track. Unfortunately, she tore her ACL and never made it to the Olympics. So now she's forcing her daughter to do ballet, to do the Olympics, etc. and stuff like that. So I just think that it was that. I think the mother and or the father living vicariously through Camille Winbush, which is the reason why they pushed her to do the Bernie Mac show, which was a huge show. And it was a huge, I don't know if you ever watched it. It was a huge show in the 90s. Huge show. You know what I mean? But in her interview.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna make my point when you finish, but go ahead, continue.
No, I was going to say, because in her interview, she was saying that she, first of all, didn't know who Bernie Mac was, which is a huge red flag. I'm like, what you mean? Granted, she was a child, but I'm like, even I knew who Bernie Mac was as a child. So come on now. Didn't know who Bernie Mac was, didn't really care. This is what her words. I didn't care to be an actress on the show, which lets me know, again, her parents is forcing her to do that. So I believe that her parents is what was pushing her to live vicariously through her and or to spend her money, which is the reasons why now she's doing OnlyFans, and they're like, okay, signing off on it as if it's an everyday thing.
Right. And yeah, about the Bernie Mac show, rest in peace to that guy. I miss Bernie Mac, and I'm sure a lot of people do too. I mean, and I think I said this during my video when I reacted to your video talking about this. Can you imagine if that guy was still alive right now?
Oh man.
Look, he would probably have the Bernie Mac show or the Bernie Mac podcast on YouTube, and he would be talking about the same issues of today. He would be serious with it, but he would come with that same humor that we know from him. I mean, that would be nice, you know, and we could use a guy like that in present day 2024. But yeah, I mean, going so soon, man. But the point that I wanted to make is I was aware of the show, but I never actually seen one episode of it.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. If you have time, honestly, I would say watch it if you got time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I seen a lot of movies he's been in. Of course, I seen Kings of Comedy and stuff like that, but I never actually seen one of the episodes of that show.
Yeah. Now it's a good show. It's I'm not gonna say it's as good. Martin is my favorite show. I love Martin. Grew up watching Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I mean? Even though I wasn't in that era, I grew up watching Good Times, you know, because my grandmother used to always play it, you know, those types of shows. I'm not gonna say it's up there with them, but it's definitely up there with like My Wife and Kids. I would say it's up there with the Wayans Bros and stuff like that, Wayans Brothers and stuff. So it is, in my opinion, for me, it's one of those classic shows growing up. Yeah, definitely for sure, man. So I think what I wanted to go with the next one is with the Ebony K. Williams segment, because you know, and again, talking about, you know, all this comes full circle with what's going on and what's hurting the Black community. I believe Ebony K. Williams is, to an extent, hurting the Black women in our community by constantly pushing this whole logic of quote unquote being a selective single mother or forcing herself to be a single mother. She speak about these types of things all the time, and shout out to her. She's very, very successful. Got millions of dollars. I just found out that she's an actual attorney. Like she actually passed the bar and all the other things. I didn't even know that. That's amazing. So shout out to her. So to go from that and to do these types of things, it pisses me off the fact that I think she's what 40 something. Went to do the IVF thing from the sperm bank. So now she's pregnant. She's a single mother, and she's promoting it like this is the norm. That this is something that should be done in the Black community. We already have issues with 70% of our Black kids being born up under single mothers. Why would you want to, first of all, do that, number one, but then also to promote it as if this is okay? You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on Ebony K. Williams? Right. First of all, getting the IVF, number one, doing the I don't know if you've seen the pregnancy photo she's been doing. Now she's trying to do like a gender reveal and all these things.
Well, on a side note, I'm not sure why I didn't mention this earlier, but we're actually the same age. She's 40, I'm 40. So me and you, there's what, a 9-10 year gap here. You said you're 30, right?
31, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so about 9 years. Okay, you're 31, I'm 40. Okay, it's all good. So I just thought I'd mention that.
Right.
Ebony K. So of course she went viral last year. You was on YouTube last year, right? I didn't get, I should have mentioned this earlier. I didn't get one of your videos in my feed until like a few months back. So you was on YouTube last year doing videos?
Oh yeah, I've been doing YouTube now for I want to say 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Oh wow. So okay, so I must have been listening to something and then one of your videos got in my timeline, then that's how that went. Okay. So my thoughts on her, well, first and foremost is that, look, we're men, okay? She look good. She a beautiful sister. I mean,
true.
Even in most of the pictures that she's in, she may be touched up as far as the makeup and all, Now, on a side note, I love a brown-skinned woman, so women of her complexion, like, that's a real turn on to me, but that's another story. But she looks good. She looks the part,
Very true.
But all the other stuff about, not gonna date a bus driver and all this other stuff, so that was real quote unquote controversial last year. So, and you said, what is it called? Did you say IVR? What is it?
IVF. It's something I just had it in my head too. IVF is in vitro fertile, something like that. I don't know, but it's basically like when they go to the sperm bank and they have the sperm inserted in them, which is another thing. I'll ask that part. I'll ask that question later on because I want to ask another question about that. But yeah, IVF.
Well, overall, I don't agree with it because I firmly still believe in the tradition of a man and a woman having a child by, normal means. I don't subscribe to that idea. And the fact that it's becoming a thing now, I mean, well, if it's available, it's available, but that doesn't mean you have to do it. So when I think back to the comments that she was making last year about, freezing her eggs and even going this route, it didn't surprise me when I saw it online that she actually did it. Because she was serious. I mean, everything that she said last year when it came to it, she meant what she said.
Yeah.
And it was clear then, just like it's clear now, she was not trying to, have anything resembling a traditional family, because even though visually she looks appealing, it's the attitude. Look,
exactly.
I said this before and I'll say it again. You can be the most beautiful woman in the world, but if your attitude is funky, that's not going to get you anywhere. I'm serious.
It's not.
It's all in the attitude. And for all of her beauty, she just mad aggressive. I mean, you can see it. And it's like nobody wants to deal with somebody like that. I don't care how good you look. So it was clear that she probably was going to remain single for a while, and this was the route that she took. I don't agree with it, especially the price. I heard is mad expensive, so only a select few can even get the procedure.
Yes.
And then on top of that, and on top of that, to get to your next question, the fact that now she's trying to do a promotional thing and taking the pictures and all that's doing is just further widening the divide, man. It's just further doing it. So I think, I'm not sure if this was on your channel or somebody else's channel. Somebody had an interview with her pretty much saying that if the child grows up and they want to see their father later in life, they'll do that almost to a point where it's like, okay, don't you think by doing that it is backwards? The child should already know their father up front. Why would you want to go this route and then later in life feel as though, okay, well, if you want to meet them, there's your opportunity or there's your avenue? That is so backwards. It's like, what? Like, what are we doing here? You know? And the sad thing is, man, when people see her do stuff like that, then that's going to look. You notice that when it comes to most things, females tend to follow and copy all sorts of ideas, no matter how crazy they are, with no logic behind it. Whereas with us as men, we're not followers like that. We first gonna ask questions. We don't just do it just because we see the other person do it. It's like, now that she's doing that, now that's going to give the green light for other women, if they have the financial means, to turn around and do it. It's further exacerbate problem. And then you want to talk about the single mother thing and all that. So again, it's oh man, it's rather frustrating.
It hurts, man. You know, and you brought up a great point. First of all, it's very expensive, so not every woman can do that. That's first and foremost. So yeah, you got a great point with that. Yeah, I just, me personally, just like you said, obviously this woman is gorgeous, very attractive. At 40, she looks amazing. If you were to sit a picture of her next to a woman that's 20, 25, you're not gonna be able to tell, unless you know who she is. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to tell who's 20 and who's 40. Let's just be real there. Very, very attractive, looks great for her age. I don't understand why you couldn't find your quote unquote husband or your man that owns a bus company. You know what I mean? And it's just like you said, it boils down to the attitude. It's just like you said, because we've seen this time and time again. Very attractive woman, gorgeous as hell. And you actually sit down and get to know them, and it's just like, bro, this woman is horrible.
Right.
That's how it is. A lot.
I made a I made, not to cut you off, I made a joke to myself that if she came to my door right now, I know I got a lady, but if she came to my door, I would let her in for a conversation.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Trust me, you ain't the only one, man. It's a any man that says no, I ain't gonna let her in. They lying, bro. They lying out their damn teeth, man. She is definitely a gorgeous woman, smart as hell. You know what I mean? You don't get that too often, man. I did not know. I knew she was educated, but I didn't know she was educated like that, to the point where she was an actual attorney before all this stuff was out. I'm looking at her like, man, you the jack of all trades. Why can't you find a man? But then when you sit down and you actually listen to her, because she has a what's it called, The Grill. She has a podcast called The Grill, which is doing real good numbers over there for obvious reasons. You know what I mean, which is doing great numbers. So she's doing that. She has other businesses that she has on the side also too as well. But going back to the point that you were making, gorgeous woman, it costs a lot of money. You're promoting it as if this is something that everybody should do. And now I'm seeing women that was under her comment section of her videos who are saying, hey, you know, Ebony, I'm 23 and I'm seriously thinking about getting IVF also too as well, because I'm tired of dealing with men and da 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 da. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, ma'am, you're 23 years old. Like, let's be honest, you had what? One real 23. You had one real relation. I'm using that term very loosely. Real relationship. Now it's a domino effect, because these younger women is going to see this 23, 20, 18. They're going to go through one high school relationship and then go get IVF and then become a single mother.
Right.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts me, man. I honestly, it really hurts, because again, like I said, especially our young girls, they are so impressionable. And me personally, I don't have kids yet. I know for a fact whenever I do decide to have kids, I know I'm gonna have all girls, because I was a hoe in the past, and you know what they say about hoes, they gonna God gonna curse you about 3, 4, 5 damn daughters. So I already know mentally, I already accepted that fate. I'm like, man, whatever, that it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah,
and you do say a lot in your videos that it worries you because if you do have a child one day, specifically a daughter, you're gonna be, like kind of on edge because of, how society is now. You said it a lot in your videos, and
Yeah,
I can tell you mean every word of it because it's obvious why it worries you.
yeah, yeah. Because it only goes down from here, and I'm assuming it's the same everywhere. But in Florida, man, the women here are, you know, what's the PC word I'm looking for? They're open. They're open and available. You know what I mean? And I'm in a tri-county. I'm always in Dade. I'm born and raised in Broward. I'm in Palm Beach now. But I was in Dade County every weekend. If you grew up in South Florida, that's something that you do every weekend. You hit South Beach, you hit Aventura, you hit, wherever, anywhere in Miami. That's where it is, and it's an abundance of women, and they're like just like Ebony K. Williams, gorgeous. Some of them are educated, gorgeous women, and they're willing to go the distance with you. You know what I mean? So it's you're giving little to no effort. It's the same thing in Dade County. It's the same thing if you ever been to LA. Same thing in Dallas. Same thing in New York. Like the women there, it's just like it's so many of them, and they're not going to sit up there and give you some will. They don't give you the runaround. If they sit there and they look at you and they find you attractive, that's the first check mark right there. You're good to go. Now you just got to make sure that your wordplay is there. Once you got the first check mark, you got your wordplay, and you got a nice little spot or a hotel or something like that for them to link up with you. Man, that's it, and you good to go. But I spend the majority of my weekends in Miami, in colleges. Same thing, sneaking in chicks' dorm rooms and stuff like that. So it's just like all of those things that I remember doing when I was young, even when I was in high school too. Girls used to invite me over while they mom and dad sleeping and all those other things. So all that stuff just plays my mind like, bro, I already know it's going to come back to me. I already know it's going to come back. So I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah, man. But so one last question I wanted to ask. And I know you have some questions for me too. One last question I want to ask, and this one is probably one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most important questions that I ask a lot of my people. First of all, in the comment section, but a lot of people that also that brings me on their channel, or I come on, or they come on mine. If there's one thing that you will want women to understand about men, what would it be?
Oh, good question. And we're simple people at the end of the day. And
Right.
speaking for myself, and I'm sure you could speak to this too, we don't ask for, hold on for a second. Okay, sorry about that. We don't ask for too much in general. It may sound like we do, but on the surface, we don't.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're simple people. I
Right.
mean, it's that simple. That may not be the most extensive answer, but I think it says a lot to most of the things that men, specifically us, have been talking about the last couple of years,
Right.
especially when it comes to this dynamic between us and the ladies.
Amen. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that answer, man. That's something that's really important to me because going back to the introduction, where I was talking about, like, what made you want to do this, what made you want to do YouTube and stuff like that. What made me want to do YouTube was first of all, YouTube came out, I was in high school, and I always wanted to do it from then. But like I said, born and raised in the hood, you know what I mean, up under a single mom, barely had money to keep the damn lights on. I couldn't afford, a camera. I couldn't afford a computer to edit on. We didn't even have internet, let alone cable in the house. Like, you know what I mean? We used to have the antennas on top of the TV. You know what I mean? Or if we were, we were really on it, like my uncles that were convicted felons, we used to steal cable from our neighbors. You know what I mean? We used to have the double wire. I don't know if you remember that. You used to have the strip wires and stuff like that, just to steal cable from the next door neighbor. You know what I mean? So that's the era that I grew up in. But that's one of the things that I always wanted to do. I've always been I hate using the term, but I guess it's true. I've always been, like, quote unquote pro-black, mainly because of my grandparents. My father was in the Black Panther movement and stuff like that years back. And so me hearing all these stories and the things that they went through, Yeah, man. Yeah, hearing those things, and a lot of my family is from the South. You know what I mean? I got family in the South and the North, but they're from the South, like Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, and stuff like that. So when they were sitting up there, using a water hose and the dogs on the people, that was my grandparents. You know what I mean? So I always, grew up watching and listening to those stories that they used to tell me, and so I used to always tell myself, "Oh, yo, listen, I want to be like this, like this. This is how I want to be." And to go from that to now seeing where our community is, it's a pain, man. It really does hurt. It really does hurt. So one thing that I really wanted to do with my channel is to try my best uh to first of all raise awareness of the issues that's going on in our community, number one, but to find a way to get us back together, black men with the black women, but also to hold each other accountable. I'm not one of those pandering channels, in my opinion. I'm not one of those pandering channels. I'm non-biased. If a black man says it does something wrong, I'm going to hold you accountable. If a black woman does something or says something wrong, I'm going to hold her accountable. Compared to other people, I'm not going to name anybody, but compared to other channels that panders to the black women or panders to the black men, no, I consider myself neutral because, in my honest opinion, the way that we get us back together or to be quote unquote successful is to get the black men back with the black women, raising kids together, having kids, raising black kids together, teaching them their values, teaching their beliefs, and then go from there. So, but yeah, excellent, man. That was great. That was a great answer. Oh, let me see.
And what led you to come to YouTube? That was good to hear too. So obviously, you have your vision, if you will. I have mine. So yeah, definitely good to hear.
Yeah. So before we go into because I know we have a couple we have a couple videos to react to. Before we go into that, do you have your questions?
So what you think of the shows like the Pop the Balloon show and Kendra G show and Ashley Dalton? You heard of her?
Oh yes, I heard her. Yeah, I've heard of her.
Okay. So what do you think of, well, okay, you can comment on her show and Kendra G if you like, but going back to the Pop the Balloon show, I'm of the opinion that once the online dating app phase dies out, then shows like that is going to become the norm. We're going to see a lot of shows like that. We're going to see a lot more shows like Kendra G and Ashley Dawson because, when you see stuff like that, you're only going to see several more of them after the fact because apparently that's the thing to do now. But going back to the Pop the Balloon show, what's her name? Arlette, that's her name?
Yeah, Arletta Muley, yeah.
Okay. Now I'll say this about her. Okay, again, another beautiful sister. She looked good.
Oh yeah.
It's the theme here. When we talk, yeah, it's the theme here when we bringing the sisters up. That's one of the first things we go to is their looks. I mean, we're men, we do that, but yeah, she looked good. I mean, that's not the issue. My thing is number one. I'm gonna get to my question, but I just wanted to say this.
Yeah.
Okay. When I talked to my lady about this, she's like, well, Wayne, she wants to present herself, she wants to have a bubbly personality and basically bring a sense of enjoyment or something like that to the show. That's why she's so happy or whatever. And I'm like, that's fine, but man, it seemed like she goes overboard. I mean, she be hyped. You see her, when it's a match, but look, I ain't gonna do the mocking voice over here. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm like, girl, I'm like, man. So I just wanted to say that. And then the second point is I wouldn't go on a show like that, number one, because I'm not flying out to Phoenix for that.
Yeah.
From Phoenix to Virginia, can you imagine the flight? And vice versa? No, I'm not going out there for that. Number two, I wouldn't go on a show like that because I just wouldn't. It's just not my thing. And then number three, if I come out there and I hit a balloon pop already, that's going to make me mad. I've been told on many occasions. I've been told on many occasions that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So the moment I hear that, you're going to see it on my face like, oh, here we go. And then another thing is that, okay, you got the questions like, okay, why did you pop your balloon? Okay, is she your type? Why is she not your type? None of that matters. She popped a balloon. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to give you all these explanations. You know, if you see her, would you approach her? Most likely, but she popped her balloon. I mean, that's it. So now that I got all that out the way, what do you think of that show and the premise of it? And where do you think it's going to go? Because like I said, I think we're going to see more shows like that once the online dating phase dies down.
I am in complete agreement with you. I mean, I wouldn't be caught dead on that show. And people, somebody was commenting under one of my videos of one of my reactions to her, because I've been watching her since back before she had 10,000 subscribers. So to see her go from that to where she is now, man, it's a really good feeling. I'm wishing her nothing but the best. But no, I agree with you. Me personally, I would never do that. I'm old school. I'm more so into, first of all, connecting with you in person, seeing you at whatever function or whatever event I'm at, and I'm shooting my shot right then and there. I'm not really into dating shows. I've never been into like I have sisters that will try to hook me up with their homegirls, like blind dates. That was never really my thing. I can't name you one positive thing that came out of a blind date. You know what I mean? And that's just me. So to do that and to do that with a game show, I just it's just not for me. Just like you said, I wear my heart on my sleeve too. So it's like, yo, listen, if I hear pops and all this down the third, and people over there talking about, oh, I'm rejecting you because your pants too tight, or because you wearing blue and not red. It's like something stupid like that, man. Come on, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, meaning right. Yep, exactly. Your jeans too tight. You know, you should have wore this. You should have wore that. When you came out here, it seemed like you did this, just all this superficial stuff. And I'm like you, yeah, I got no time for that, man. I don't want to hear it. I just don't.
And these are, mind you, these are grown women too. Like some of these women in their 30s and 40s talking like this. And I'm not to, not to make excuses for anybody, but you typically hear that from like the young girls, 18, 19, 20, stupid, superficial answers. But these women 35, 40 years, like the most recent video that Arlette was doing, I don't know if you noticed, or I don't know if you've seen it, but that was more so for the older crowd.
I seen it.
Yeah, so most of them was 35, 40 and up. And the women are saying the exact same thing. And I'm just like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Me personally, I wouldn't do that. And I don't consider myself a high value man. But I just don't see myself, anybody that's of liking to me or similar to me will be on shows like that. I'm old school. I know where to go if I want to go out. And again, like I said, I'm in South Florida. I know to hit Miami. I know to hit the Palm Beach Pier. I know to hit, this, that, third. And it's going to be an abundance of damn women all over. You know what I mean? So I don't ever see myself doing something like that or being that desperate. I've never, let me not say never. I'm sorry. That's a lie. I'm not a fan of the online dating apps. Now, with my job, I travel a lot. You know what I mean? So they have me going from city to city. And so sometimes I'll download a dating app just to see if I can see somebody of my liking that's in the area, and then maybe we'll connect or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, I'm old school, man. I'm boots on the ground. I'm walking the streets. I'm trying to see what's going on. Yeah.
Right. I don't blame
you. Yeah.
So let me see. Next question. Wow. Okay. So, and pardon me, I know I should have wrote some stuff down, but we're winging it. It's all good.
Well, take your time. Take your time.
Okay, so we can continue on the same road. So Kendra G show and Ashley Dalton show, you pretty much feel the same way about those. They don't add anything to the current scene. They just making the problem worse. Their intentions may be in the right place, but when you see what we have seen the last few years, it's only adding to the problem. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I would agree. I would agree with that. And as far
and before you finish, Kendra G, she looked good. Ashley Dalton, she looked good.
This is true. I agree.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. I agree. and something that, because I've seen, I've not really met her, but I've seen her in passing in Miami. Before, you know, everybody's in Miami, man. I've seen her in passing. She looks very good in person. A lot of people don't understand. She looks amazing. I don't know if her body is real. I have no idea, but it looks real to me. And that's my thing, because I don't care for the BBLs and the breast implants and all those other things. I don't like that. That's a turn off for me. But it looks real, so I'm going to give it to her. Yeah, yeah. But as far as the shows, if I had to choose between the Pop the Balloon or the Kendra G, I still would do neither. But if I had to choose, probably
I wouldn't do either.
Probably the Pop the Balloon show, because from what I've seen with Kendra G, and it's just like you said, it starts off with good intentions. Like, you know what I mean? It's similar to like the Black Lives Matter movement. It started off with good intentions. And then you see these people buying mansions and all the other stupid stuff. And it's just like, bro, what's going on? Now you killing the movement. It's the same thing with the Kendra G. It's the same thing with the Pop the Balloon. It's the same thing with all these. The intentions at first is great, but now you're starting to see what's going on, and it's starting to trickle down, because now people are just trying to go viral. There was girls on Kendra G that's hollering about, oh, I got 3 baby daddies and they all gang bang. I'm like, man, what? Like, who? And you out here trying to find love? You trying to find a man? Who in their right mind will put up with first of all, a woman with 3 baby daddies, number one, but all 3 of your baby daddies gang bang? I'm like, okay, are you saying that to go viral, or is that the truth? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but I just don't see myself doing any of those things, man. And if I'm being brutally honest, I say it all the time. It starts with us, the men, because a lot of the men allow this nonsense to happen. And you have these simps, you have these beta male providers, you have you know, the derogatory word that women came up with, incels. And you gotta kind of go with it, because it's kind of like, damn, bro, I think it's the truth, because somebody is putting these, you know, planting these ideas in their head, number one, letting these women know that, hey, this is okay. You can come out here and do these things. You can come out here and be you know, strong-minded. I can't think of the term that they use. You can be out here and be a positive influence, and you got 2,000 bodies. You can come out here and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna find a man, but you know, I'm over here doing OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like, it starts with us. If men and as a collective will come together and say, hey, this is not what we want. We're going to stop them, first of all, supporting women that do stuff like this. We're going to stop dating women do stuff like this. I guarantee you all that stuff will drop.
That's a good point. You're right.
Yeah. So,
and then there's also been, there's also been women who came on the show. Some I think it may have been a time or two on Kendra G's show where somebody was pregnant on there. There was also some that were on there not too long after the baby was born. And then the first question that Kendra G is asking is, you know, where's the father? What happened to him? And then you get them same answers. He was toxic. He was a narcissist. He was not good, and all these other excuses. But it's almost, okay, you chose him. So, man, look, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna get to my next question, it's like, okay, as my mom would say, and pardon my French, grown ass people gonna do what grown ass people do.
Facts.
But at the same time, you're gonna be held accountable for the decisions that you make. Yeah. You can't have a bad experience with one man and then all of a sudden think a whole race of men are bad because of that one experience. No, it doesn't work like that. And it definitely ain't no flex to have 4 different kids with 4 different men. That is nothing to be celebrated. Oh my God, man. That is nothing to celebrate or be happy about. Okay, if you're taking care of them, okay, all right, but that's nothing to celebrate.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Crazy out here.
Yeah, it's rough, man. But like I said, it starts with us, because I can't. It's the same thing in Florida, man. Like a lot of these women, and for whatever reason, they'll look at themselves like they're the prize, and they'll look at you crazy for not trying to step up to pay for their X amount of kids' mouths. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in weird situations where, you know, and I spoke about this a couple of times. I've been in weird situations where I was going out. I met a girl, wherever, shoot my shot, get her number. She agrees to go out with me. All right, cool. I pull up at this girl's house. She walking out with 2 kids in her hands. I'm looking like, ma'am, I asked you to go out. What, like, am I supposed to drop these kids somewhere? Like, what's going on? Oh, well, you know, they ain't eat anything all day, so I figured they come with us. First of all, it's 6 p.m. What you mean these kids are eating anything all day? That's number one. Number two,
Right.
could you at least do the
Yeah.
common decency and respect me enough to ask ahead of time? Because what if I don't have the money like that? What if I just don't want to
Right.
do? What if I don't like being around people, kids? You know what I mean? So it's just it starts with us.
Right.
You have to nip that in the bud. You have to.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, so I'm with you on that one. Let's see. I know you don't talk about this a lot. I definitely talk about it a lot because as I've mentioned on my channel and as other people know, I do plan to run for office. Either I want to get my first campaign started in either 2025 or no, not 2025, not next year. 2027 or 2029. So I
Okay.
want to get my start in the Virginia House of Delegates, but I
Correct.
do want the ultimate goal to be in the United States House of Representatives. So I
Nice.
got some political goals and stuff in mind, and I'm still in the academic part of my journey. I am going to return to school soon to get my master's. So that's that part.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I
I
talk
love hearing
about, yeah, yeah, I got to go. So I appreciate that too.
it. Yeah.
I know I talk about this often on my channel. I think you touch on it not as much as I do, or if you do touch on it, you comment on a video that I talk on the topic. So my own question to you is, what do you think about the current political landscape and where do you think we're heading as far as the 2024 election? And I want to preface that by saying, I don't know if you heard about this, but as we was preparing to come on and do our show, Trump had a rally
Oh yeah.
and
In Pennsylvania.
shots
Yeah.
fired. So,
I
yeah,
heard,
okay, so
man.
you heard about it. So now look, and look, let me tell you this. My thing is, no, I don't want to see, okay, I don't want to see anybody hurt. Even that
Right.
guy, I got tons of issues with that guy, and I'll be the first to say that he was one of the sole reasons as to why I wanted to pursue a political career in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'll give him credit in that regard. But in this instance, when I saw the notifications come up on my phone, I just said, I don't mean to be insensitive, but I just said, oh, well, and it kind of seems like these are like the chickens coming home to roost in a way because it's unfortunate that it happened, but hey, you know,
Yeah.
and what I'm afraid of is that the media might or might not turn this into something where this tragedy or whatever, because it was a tragedy, the shooter was killed and a rally goer was killed. So there was a tragedy here.
Right.
I just fear that the media is probably going to take this and spin it in such a way that it's going to benefit him in a way.
Oh
But
yeah.
at the same time, and I don't mean to be partisan, but if this happened at a rally that Joe Biden was doing, and the similar things happened, and it was worse, they still gonna find some way to say he can't run. So
That's
so
true.
overall, what do you think we're headed? Your thoughts on politics in general, because I know you talk about it less than I do, just fine. So what are your thoughts
So
overall?
for that, I honestly believe that Trump is probably going to win after this. This is going to give him the news coverage for weeks to come. You know what I mean? And who was it that got shot? What's Buddy's name? Reagan. He got shot during his campaign, and then he won. This is similar to, I mean, I hate, I'm not trying to compare apples and oranges, but this is similar to rappers when they get shot, when they get locked up, when they go to jail. They album sales go through the roof. Everybody, they're trending every single week, every single month. Look at what's going on with Young Thug. This man did I said movies. This man music videos and songs has been charting ever since all these trials has been going on. It's like all publicity is good. I think who was that? Easy E that said that all publicity is good publicity. And that's really what it boiled down to, because now this is going to catapult him to where he needs to go. You know, and it's so sad, man. Me personally, you know, I've been to Trump rallies, I've been to Hillary rallies, rallies, I've been to Obama's rallies, I've been also to Biden's rallies. And the thing that I've seen, in my opinion, is a lot of them, they're going to tell you whatever they want to say just so they can get the seat. When they get into the seat, that's when you see the real them, and you see that they don't really do much of anything. Me personally, I don't care for Trump. I can care less for Trump. Me personally, I think Biden got to sit down, man. I really want this dude to retire. This man is too old. This man is out here calling people, talking about what he said, calling Trump his VP and all this other thing. I'm like, bro, somebody got to sit this man down for a nap. This man doesn't need to be doing that. But I blame, first of all, I blame the Republican Party. I blame the Democratic Party, because you guys should have been looking for a replacement for these two. I don't like either one. I don't know if I'm going to vote in November. I don't know if I do vote. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm on edge. I don't know what's going on. As far as Trump, I think this is going to catapult him to the winning seat. Honestly, I do, and I don't want that to happen. But again, you know, it's not really much that we can do. Number one. Number two, I just have the feeling. One of the main reasons why, me personally, I don't really care to vote or be active like that within politics is because the Electoral College chooses everything. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really, you know, that among other things. That's one of the main reasons why I don't really care to be active politically. Me personally, I don't really, I don't, you know, I mean, I can, but I just don't really care to speak on it like that, because at the end of the day, I think that they're all liars. I remember when Obama first ran, I wasn't old enough to vote, but when Obama ran, I was thinking to myself, hey, listen, this is going to be something great for, first of all, the Black community, but for the young Black men. If this man can make it, anybody can. And then when he came into office, I just felt like he didn't do as much for the Black community as he should have or could have. Granted, I get it, Republicans was blocking him every single day, every single corner. I get all that, but it's just a bunch of disappointment. Seat after seat, president after president, everything is going on. The House of Representatives, I'm not House, I'm sorry, the Supreme Court people, all these people, like it's disappointing. And I just wish that we could do more. I'm happy to hear that you're going to be running for the House of Representatives, and I hope that you get it, because I think that you are the breath of fresh air that people need. You know, in politics, because you're not tainted by money, you're not tainted by your own whatever things that everybody's trying to push, whatever narrative, stupid ass narrative that people are trying to push. And you know what I mean? And so I love that. That's why I said, like, you talked about going back to school for your master's. I'm like, yo, I love to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that will be great. I think that'll be great. You know what I mean? I would love to see that. But that's one of the main reasons why I don't really speak on politics like that, because it's just like, yo, it doesn't matter how you look at it, what angle, who it is. You know, you can pull up 10, 20, 30 lies from each of these people. Like, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I will say that Trump part, man, I hope you're wrong, but you know, I follow this stuff. I follow this stuff daily, so I'm gonna keep my eye on to see exactly where that coverage is, because the moment I start seeing some stuff that's gonna tilt it that way, as if this unfortunate shooting is going to somehow be beneficial, I'm going to be like, oh, Lord, here we go. But at the same time, the last 2 weeks, there's been all this coverage about Biden needing to step down. Now, me personally, you know, we may agree to disagree, and that's fine. I think he should I don't think he should drop out, because the election is too close. But that's a whole other story. I can go well into that, you know, but we'll shift on. So what do you think about women not only paying $1,000 or $1,200 to take a picture with Chris Brown, but some women actually ending their relationships just because of that? I mean, I know you've heard it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
did you do a video on that or no?
I didn't do a video on it. I've been having a lot of people like my DMs, my inboxes, even my emails now, it's starting to get flooded with so many people. So it's so hard because I'm a one-man army. I know a lot of people like, shout out to O'Shea, Duke Jackson, and all those other guys. They have a team of people to handle these things. It's just me. You know what I mean? I got a full-time job. I got other things that I'm doing on the side.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I'm the oldest out of 7. So I got all my younger siblings that's constantly in my ear asking for this, asking for that, asking for a rise, and all these other things. So it sometimes things do get lost in translation. But I did see that, and my thoughts on that is this is why I tell dudes you have to be very careful and very, very selective with who you're settling down with, who you're choosing, who you're selecting, whatever woman that you're trying to be with, because the biggest argument, especially in the Black community, but the biggest argument in the dating world is that, oh, a woman shouldn't have to pay for ABC 1, 2, 3. The man should be taking a woman out on a date no less than $300 or whatever. Uh-oh. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you. I'm not sure what happened because you was talking and then it just went down.
Let me see. My video's on. Can you see me?
Okay, I can see you now. I'm not sure what happened there, but continue. I didn't do anything. I'm
Yeah.
sure you didn't either.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But yes, but to answer the question about that, me personally, I just this is the reason why I tell dudes all the time that you have to be very careful with the women that you're selecting and choosing with and dating, because in the dating world, everybody's been talking about how the man's supposed to be taking the girl out on a date that's no less than $300, $400, $500. If you take a girl out to the Cheesecake Factory, that's a no-no. And all those stupid things, but then you have these same women that's running around here paying $1,000 for a picture, but you don't want to go.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But I can't take you out on a date that costs $100 and we split it. So you can give us a stranger $1,000, but you can't go half on this ice cream. Like, you know what I mean? It's stupid stuff like that, man. And it hurts. But these things, and this is the reason why I tell dudes to get on your job, get your money up, do whatever it is you have to do, because we've seen this happen before over and over and over again. I've done videos with Dexter Daps, who's a popular Caribbean artist. You know what I mean? Where the guy was over here grinding on another damn woman to come to find out this girl was damn engaged to whatever other dude, and dude find out about it. I did the other video with what's buddy's name? Yule, the African artist. I forgot his name. Well, he pulled the girl up on stage and started dancing all the other stuff, and the man was out on a date with her. Man. Yeah, like stuff like that. People will do to you what you allow them to. If you constantly allow your woman to sit up there and disrespect you like that, I'm telling you right now, if I'm in a relationship and I find out my girl do something like that, bro, I'm not arguing. I'm not going back and forth. The relationship's over. I wish you nothing but the best. That's it. That's it. Go with him. Go do what you want to do. Live your single life, because I'll be damned if I'll be a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. You made some good points there, and then they require all this on the first date, and then you go to an expensive restaurant on the first date. They're going to order an appetizer, 2 or 3 drinks. They're going to order some expensive on the menu, and they're going to get dessert. And at the end of the day, they still can turn around and say they don't like you or find something to not like about you or just not feel you at all. And then it's on to the next one. Like, oh, man.
Yeah. And these dates get pretty expensive, man. Like all these, especially in my area, a lot of the restaurants in my area, man, I'm telling you right now, for appetizers usually run you by 20, 30, depending on what you get. Like you can up it or stuff like that. But $20, $30 for an appetizer. Meat, because you have to buy the sides separate, because they don't do meals. You know what I mean? You just have to buy your meat. So you can get a tomahawk steak, you can get a filet mignon, you can get salmon, you can get lobster, whatever the case may be, Alaskan crab claws or whatever. But then you have to pay another $30, $40 per side. So if you get one meat, let's say you get Alaskan crabs, and then I get a filet mignon, come on, man. Like an 8 ounce going to go and run you about a good $120 for a decent steak. Tomahawks is no cheaper than one in
Yep.
in Florida, at least. I don't know about how it is up there. Tomahawk steaks down here gonna run you about 150, 175 for a tomahawk steak. Alaskan crabs, crab claws, those things gonna run you about $120, $130. Let's just say she get Alaskan crab, or let's just say she get the salmon. Salmon usually $70, $80. She gets 2 sides. Each side is about $35. That's already $70 for 2 sides. Plus her main meal. Just like you said, let's say she like, you know, the drink that women like, the apple martinis, the lemon drops. Those things ain't cheap. Them things about $20 for one glass. $25. So
That's right.
do the math. We already at 3. Mind you, we already at damn near $300, and I haven't even ordered yet. You know what I mean? So
that part.
And I'm telling you, it gets expensive. So women get mad at me when I say your date should be as cheap, if not as free as possible. Luckily, I'm literally right on the coastline. The beach is like 15 minutes east of me, so I can drive right to the beach and we right there. But a lot of women don't like that. They're gonna look at me like, yo, this is a cheap date. Yes, it is. I'm trying to get to know you. You're trying to get to know me. I'm not about to be spending all this money on you. And then 9 times out of 10, you probably won't even make it to the second date. No.
Exactly. Yep. Can do all of that, and then at the end of the night, they still it ain't a guarantee that she's gonna like you. I mean, that's the part right there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And she'll sit up there and tell her friends, oh, I ain't like him because he wore a brown belt and black shoes. Like something stupid like that. Like it's ridiculous, man. It's just I don't know, but like I said, it starts with it starts with us. If we all come together collectively and we say, hey, this is what's going on, this is how we're moving, this is how it's going to be acting in the dating world, I guarantee you the women is going to act accordingly. I guarantee you. Guarantee you.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah. Oh, do you have more or?
Oh no, you did 3 questions, I did 3. So we can move to the videos that you have if you like.
Okay. So let's get to this video. Let me share a screen. Hold on 1 second.
All right.
See if I can make this bigger. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so yeah, let's get into it because Corey Hardrick has been you know, viral as of recent. I know he has that new movie now called Divorce in Black, the Black Divorce or something like that with Megan Good. So he's basically been trending all over. I think it's on Prime or something like that. I keep telling myself I want to watch it. My girl wants to watch it, so I'll watch it whenever I can get into that. But I've been having this video in the queue for the longest. I've never been able to upload it and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? We gonna do this with my main man Wayne, man. We're gonna get into it. So Corey Hardrick opens up about struggling after divorce from Tia Murray. Quote, it was a year and a half of crying myself to sleep every night. So let's start this video really quick.
Because, you know, it's tough when it feels like you're going through something alone and no one understands and, you know, no one's there for you. And it's just like, you know, when you're a man, especially a black man, they're like, oh, he's tough, he's strong. But you know, it was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night. You know, nobody see that. Yeah. Nobody see that. Yeah. You know, like, you know, you live 5 minutes away from your babies, you know what I'm saying? Because people who know Corey Hardrick know that his kids and his family was everything to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm stronger than I thought I was. Yes. I'm really stronger. And that by the grace of God, it's like, I'm here and I'm still going.
Do you want marriage?
So, first of all, what are your thoughts on Mr. Corey Hardrick? First of all, like you said, being open, having your heart out on your sleeve. What are your thoughts about what he said?
Okay. I didn't react to this video specifically, but I did do a video on that situation like a couple of weeks ago. So I did see this video before, but I got no problem reacting to it again because now I can give some updated thoughts on it. Now, initially when Tia Mowry started going viral with her comments from last year, you know, the stuff about graduating for marriage and all of that, it was a smart thing that he remained silent during all that time and it didn't turn into like this whole back and forth thing. So it was smart of him to not say anything. He was quiet for a reason and I commend him for that. So I guess now that I'm looking at this video again and he's stating how he's feeling, I guess I don't have too many issues with him opening up and making his feelings public. Now, it's no surprise to me that, okay, even if he's exaggerating just a little bit, you know, with the crying a year and a half and stuff like that, you know, okay, you don't know how people feel. But on another instance, I can sympathize with him because, you know, I was married before. I was married to my son's mother. And when we went through our separation that led to a divorce, that was tough. That was a tough thing to deal with. I got over it in my time. So I see where he's going with that, especially because there's also, you know, children involved. So I know that part. Now, what I will also say in his regard is that as long as he don't go on multiple platforms and talk about this, I'm cool. He said what he had to say here. We all seen it. It went viral. So now, like I said in one of my videos, all he needs to do now is just focus on himself, focus on the children. If somebody asks a question about it, he can speak on it briefly and move on. He don't need to go on multiple platforms and say the same thing because then the more he talk, it's going to then turn into what it shouldn't be. And that's Tia Mowry over here saying what she got to say, him saying what he got to say. And then regarding her, say it with me, Dev, she look good. Her sister look good. There we go. So my thing is, if somebody asks him a question about her, he doesn't have to give a long answer. Just say something along the lines of, we co-parent well. I'm assuming they do. I mean, there should be no issues with the co-parenting. She's doing what she's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. As long as she's enjoying whatever it is that she's doing, I'm cool. He don't have to speak on whatever it is that she does. If she want to put herself out there online and say this and that, that's her. He don't need to involve himself with that. He just don't. Because the minute he comment on it, then the internet, specifically the quote unquote sisterhood, they're gonna come after him. So so overall, he spoke his piece. He don't need to go on multiple platforms and keep saying the same thing. He said it right there, and just, you know, just continue doing what he's doing. He don't need to go. He don't need to turn this into something that it doesn't need to be. He don't need to do all that.
Yeah, no, yeah, great point. Great point. Yeah, no, this kind of reminds me of what was happening with Megan Good and Devon Franklin, where this, like you said, the sisterhood tore them up. Everybody, like, mind you, notice how just like you said, he was quiet. Corey Hardrick is quiet. Devon Franklin is quiet. They never really spoke about it like that, you know. So people is trying to, especially women, trying to formulate all these things. Oh, he was abusive. Oh, he was controlling. Oh, he was narcissistic. Oh, he was. I'm like, okay, well, Tia Mowry never came out to say any of those things. So how do you know? Like, was you in a relate? You was sleeping with them while they were sleeping together? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So a lot of the sisterhood automatically jumps up to defend each other without, first of all, knowing all the facts, knowing what happened. I think this was a perfect example of two people growing apart from each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me
personally, I don't believe in speaking down on any woman that I've been with. Like, even when I speak about all my relationships that I was in, I never spoke down on any of my exes, and some of my exes deserve to be spoken down on, but I never did, because I believe that's just not a way that a lot of men move. Like, you go in a relationship, it didn't work out, you hold your L and you keep moving. That's it. You know what I mean? You wish her that as long as she's not being disrespectful to you or putting hands on you, you don't need to be dealing with any of those things. You know what I mean? So, but I think you brought up an excellent point. He said it once, don't say it again, don't speak on it again, leave it alone and keep it moving. That's it. Because just like you said, Tia Mowry was out here doing a whole press run about her graduation and all this, that, and the third. But then what ended up happening? She started doing stupid ass TikTok videos where she talk about how she lonely and how she hates the dating world. Oh, I went out on a date with a guy and it was horrible and all this, that, and the third. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, it's just I don't know.
Yeah. And one more point that I want to make about Mr. Hodrick is that, okay, if he's single, okay, cool. If he has somebody in his life, cool. My only thing is that if he moves on like that, okay, he's a celebrity, so it would probably become public.
Right,
But
right.
at the same time, if he can keep that aspect of his life under wraps, and again, it would be a tough thing to do, then that would help too. So like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but like I said, he spoke his piece, let that be that. Plain and simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Because and let me make this one more point. And one more point about that is because you don't want it to get to a point where after he made these comments, then you got other people saying either he needs to be quiet or he's talking too much or he already said what he had to say. Why is he still talking? You don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And I think it's just like you said too, also too, before we move on. I think it's just like you said, you were saying that he was over exaggerating as far as, oh, I was crying myself to sleep every night. Like, you know what I mean, for the last year and some change. You know, again, I'm not him, and I wasn't married for, I think I was married for what, like 8 years or 9 years, something like that. So I can't speak from that. But my longest relationship was about 4.5, 5 years. You know what I mean? It hurt, but I didn't shed tears like that. Like, you know what I mean? So I guess maybe it's a difference for him because, you know, again, like he said, family's important. He lost his kids. I think because he got babies, his kids are still toddlers. I don't think his kids is older than like 6 or 8. Like he got like babies, you know what I mean? And like he said, like they're literally 5 minutes down the street and I missed them. And I'm like, okay, well, bro, if they're really 5 minutes, walk 5 minutes and go see them. Like unless she has a type of protective order against you, you know what I mean? Just like you said, I'm sure that they're that they worked with each other out and stuff like that as far as co-parenting. So it shouldn't be that much of an issue. I think it's an over exaggeration.
And I do have one question for you. So at the end of the day, after all this, do you see them reconciling at some point?
Oh man. Man. I see him wanting to reconcile with her, Tia Mari.
Okay.
And the reason being, she seems more happy out of the marriage than he does. This is my opinion. As far as like what I'm seeing on social media, she seems more happy.
I agree.
I think she's been sexually active probably since the divorce launched, probably before, but I think she's been sexually active with other guys. He doesn't give me that type of vibe where it's like he just instantly start having chicks jump in his bed. Again, that's just me. From what I've been seeing, she seems more happier alone. I think if they was to reconcile to get back together, it's going to be because of him forcing the topic of them get back together, and it's going to be because of her being tired of being in the dating world and catching all these damn L's. Because I'm sure somebody's business. It's just like you said, she look good, she fine as hell. You know what I mean? Somebody bending her over, somebody stroking her down. Like let's be honest. You know what I mean? Somebody getting in her guts. You know, so I think that was the reason why they will reconcile is because he's constantly forcing the topic, and then she gets tired of either sleeping with all these dudes. She realizes, hey, listen, I'm out here catching nails. Let me get my family back together. I think it'll be because of him, which sucks because now you're going to give her the leverage over you. You're going to give her the quote unquote pants in the relationship.
It's a good point. Now me, oh man, I'm honestly not sure where I stand on it. I'm not sure at the moment. Would it surprise me? Yes, because of the comments that she's made and the things that she's done since the whole I graduated from marriage ordeal.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, 'cause I mean, like it's like I said, man. She still look good to me, man. Hell, Tia Murray knock on my door. Hey, I gotta handle that. Let
Yep.
me get into this second video. The second video, this one was sent to me by somebody, man. Again, like I said, I have so many. Oh, this one's a little bit longer. Oh, it's only 4 minutes, not too bad. Do you want marriage? So this one video was sent to me by somebody on TikTok, man. I watched like the first 30 seconds of it, 30, 40 seconds of it. It's 4 minutes, and what we can do, we can play it for like the next minute and a half, 2 minutes, we'll stop. Or if you want to say something, you just raise your hand or say something, and then I'll pause it. But let's get into it, because again, to me, marriage is very, very important. So I love these types of questions.
Okay. Do you want marriage?
I don't care. If she wants it, cool. If she doesn't, like, if she doesn't mind, then no.
But what do you want though?
I just want long-term love. Like,
okay.
The piece of paper, like the legal status doesn't, like, I would get married for a visa, like for visa purposes, for legal purposes, for that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm fine with doing, like, for example, if she doesn't care about the legal proceedings of it, I'm fine with doing the wedding ceremony, the celebrations of love, you know. But what I care about more is loyalty, because, like, look around, like, if you could just get divorced whenever you want to, then what is the point of the vows? They don't mean anything. Marriage doesn't mean anything.
Hot take. I disagree.
Marriage is like your declaration of love at that moment, but people still cheat, people still abuse each other in the marriages, people can get divorced, no fault divorce, so they could be like, I fell out of love with you, bye. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're allowed to do that, what will make you want to fight for it? Right? What is the difference between being super in love and, like, loving each other, caring for each other for 70 years without the wedding ring and with the wedding ring?
I think marriage is more than, I know people like to throw that around.
So that was a great point. I you know, in my honest opinion, I don't fully agree with what he said. I get where he's coming from, but it's like, what do you benefit from, besides the obvious? What do you benefit from marriage, especially if you're with a woman that doesn't really care to be married, or doesn't really think of it like that, or maybe she only sees it as, like he said, to acquire a visa status, like a citizenship status and stuff like that, right? But I mean, from what I've heard, again, I don't fully agree with him, but he made some good defenses. Keep going.
On marriage is a piece of paper. Like, literally everything that we have is a piece of paper. Your passport, your, you know, like your driver's license, everything is just a piece of paper. But these papers matter. I want to raise kids, if I choose to have them, in that same environment of the benefit of two parents in the house.
Okay.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say? Finish it. I can already see your face.
But none of that is marriage.
What do you mean?
That is just two people living, like you don't have to be married to do that.
You're right.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But
you can have everything that you just described.
Yes.
Without the legal marriage.
Technically single.
Technically single, or co-living, or whatever it's called.
You're single until you're married. So, but I get what you're saying. You can still do the whole, like, marriage aspect, but not be together. Well, I guess I value being a wife, and I value being someone's wife before I would ever, like, I would never be a mother before I'm a wife. Like, if I never get married, I will never have a child.
Right. But that is more to protect yourself.
Well, we halfway in. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? I'm liking what she's saying.
Yeah, she made some good points. Now, look, in present day 2024, it's not often that you hear a woman say she doesn't want to have. What did she say? Did she say she didn't want to have a child before marriage? Did she say that, or?
Yes. She said she's not having kids until she gets married.
Okay, there it is. So yeah, it's not every day we hear that in present day 2024. That's for sure. So she's hold on. Oh Lord. I'm gonna address that. Okay. So wow, I just got sidetracked a little bit. I'm gonna come back to that, but
it's all good.
Yeah, she made some good points. He's making some good points. So if I can interject my own thoughts here, when it comes to marriage, I still believe in the sanctity of it. Like I said, I was married before. I do want to get married again, but this time instead of going to the justice of peace, I do want to have the traditional wedding with family and friends. But what I also want to say is that when it comes to marriage, you definitely don't want to rush into that, because the last thing you want to do is have the did we do this too soon or did we rush into it conversation. You definitely don't want that. Now, I know sometimes things may not work out, but when it comes to a marriage, something like that, you should definitely give it your all the way through until you can't give it no more. I mean, divorce should be the absolute last resort.
Yes.
Divorce should not become a culture, no matter what we see on these internet airwaves, if you will.
Yes.
Divorce should not become a celebrated thing. And it seems like each and every day, it seems like divorce is more celebrated than the actual marriage/wedding is. Do you see that? I mean, do you think that's another area that we're heading into? It's like every time you turn around, somebody is getting divorced, and it seems like that's becoming celebrated. But okay, well, that's being celebrated. Having the wedding is celebrated, but the actual work and putting the work in, that's becoming frowned upon. Like, okay, what's going on here? So do you see that? You know, do you think that's where it's going? We heading into another culture where divorce is openly celebrated and encouraged?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been noticing things like what is it called? Like divorce parties has been blowing up. They had a
On TikTok, yeah.
yeah, like on but I've seen it in person. Like I've seen it in person. I was at I don't know if you guys have like it's called Morton's Steakhouse. There was having a divorce party. I was there a few months ago. They had a private room and it was extremely loud and stuff like that. And they was like, had to send a waitress over there to tell them to calm down. And so the waitress came back to my table and they were like, yeah, we're sorry about that. They're having a divorce party. I'm like, a divorce party? They rented out a private room full of women. They over there drinking up, screaming, doing all, how they do, carrying on. And I'm just like, damn, was you going this hard for you or during your wedding? What's really good? Like what's really going on? Because it's one thing to see it online, but when you see it in person, it's just like that. I think that's when it really hit me. Because I've heard about it for years, but I never fully seen it until that time a few months ago. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think it's like you said, it's more celebrated.
Crazy.
So if you end up with the wrong guy, you get something out of it. Like the law protects you.
Okay.
Right? If you get divorced, you get half if you don't make as much money as he does, right? Or you get alimony, or you get child support, or something. Like there's a punishment for him being the wrong partner.
But I never was looking at it as in terms of punishment. I wasn't looking at like, oh, if we divorce, like I can take all his money. Like that was never the thing. It's just
Then why what makes it so that you don't want to have a kid until you're a wife? This guy, if you meet this guy, he loves you.
Okay.
And he is like, I want to be with you, have a child with you.
Amazing.
I don't want to get married. No. But the moment we have a kid together, I'm putting $5 million in your bank account and I'm saying to you, I will never leave you.
No.
But what's the difference?
Then what's the difference in marriage then? Why? Like why not?
Because maybe he's with 350 million and he doesn't want to deal with the legal side of things.
Then we're not meant to be. That's okay. Then our views and our values don't align, and that's okay. I think I would be wasting my time if I just took the cop out of saying, oh, I'll take $5 million, but losing out on a big thing that I truly value. Our values don't align. And so I would just say, hey, cool, not going to work out. Thanks.
But this is somebody who's like, okay, I'm going to add like, this is your ideal guy. And the only thing different is the status of marriage. Everything else you get exactly what you would dream of in a marriage, but you don't get marriage. But
then it's not everything I dream of.
So that's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying. So basically,
yeah, I would love, first of all, I love to hear and see women like her. And it's just like you said, in 2024, there's not many women like her. And it's always a breath of fresh air when you hear women of that likeness that's thinking that way and moving that way. Me personally, I didn't see anything wrong with what she said. He was kind of hit and miss. He was up and down for me. But I didn't hear anything wrong from her.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not every day that you hear a woman say, you know, what she said about, you know, having a child and the marriage and all that stuff. Yeah. Not every day that you hear that in present day 2024.
Man, yeah, that was great. I'm not sure what I mean. I understand. If I'm not mistaken, he's a software engineer for like a huge company and stuff like that. So I know he's probably making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year. So that's why he's so and I get it, man. You're trying to protect your money. I get it, but I just don't see myself, just like she said, I don't see myself having kids until marriage. You know what I mean? Like I'm 31 with no kids, man, and it's gonna stay that way until otherwise.
Yeah, I respect that.
Equality anymore.
This one is, let me see. Oh, the feminism. So it's feminism about equality. So this one was also sent to me on TikTok. My thoughts on feminism, again, like I talked about earlier, when we talked about like the, you know, Black Lives Matter, when we talked about a few of the other things. I think it started off as something good, but then it just turned into this negative thing, and it's starting to really, really hurt because they're pushing this feminism thing. They're trying to make it seem like, hey, listen, you can do same thing with Ebony K. Williams. You can do all these things. You don't need to be with a man or whatever case it be. And I think that is hurt, in my opinion. I think it's doing more harm than good, especially with us. You know what I mean? Because we're already walking on eggshells, you know, trying to talk to our own women. You know what I mean? So it's horrible.
And then another piece of that is the accountability part. Now, it's almost like we're in a culture, for the lack of a better word, where women can say anything, do anything, act any way they want, wear what they want, whatever the case may be, and expect no pushback. And if you give them pushback, then you're wrong. Whereas on the other end, men, we hold each other accountable all the time.
Yes.
You know, you notice that, you know, we're not gonna, like, for example, a woman could say that she slept with 10 guys in 1 week. And you're okay, some sisters will come after her for that, but then you'll also have another group who will be celebrating that sort of thing, in which that sort of thing should not be celebrated. Whereas if you have a man say something akin to, you know, I know me and my wife, we got married last week, but man, it was this chick at the reception. I couldn't keep my eyes off her, but I had, you know, she rode through the other day and I smashed that. Now, on one end, you may have one or two men who will probably be like, damn, dude, you know, do your thing. But then the majority of men who value marriage, they're going to call him out on that. Like, dude, you just got married. Why you do that? Now, what you going to do if the wife finds out? You know, what's going to happen? Are you prepared for the consequences? You know, what's going to happen with the child? You see, we're going to hold each other accountable. And the thing is with that, we don't have a problem doing that because we're not coming from a place where we're trying to insult the other man or call him out of his name, you know, because it's in our nature to hold each other accountable. Whereas with the women, it's almost like if you hold them accountable, they damn near, they take offense to that for you even calling them out on something. It's almost like they can call you out, but you can't call them out. You see how that works? It makes no sense.
Yeah. And that's what it's really all about. You can sit up there pointing the finger at you, but the minute you point the finger back at them, then it's an issue.
Yep.
Feminism is not about equality anymore. It's about crushing the patriarchy. It's about women gaining the upper hand over men. That's not equal. You
Oh,
can
you're
believe
another
you
beleaguered male.
I'm not a feminist. You can believe in equality, right? But you don't have to be a feminist to believe it. And if this man is saying he's not a feminist, he might well be saying, I don't believe in crushing the patriarchy. I don't believe in creating an environment that's negative for men.
I understand that you're actually half my age and you perhaps haven't been around quite long enough to understand what feminism literally means in its legal defined context. What's happened since you grew up is that the culture wars have taken words like feminism and they've injected them with all kinds of potency, which actually are deeply unhelpful to the cause of equality and the cause of women.
If I don't identify with that word then, which has been injected with all of this politics, am I being discriminatory? If I say in the workplace that I don't believe in DEI, am I saying that I don't believe in racial equality? Of course I'm not. I'm saying that I don't believe in the politics of DEI. I don't believe in the politics of feminism. How is that discriminatory?
Well, I think
that was a great question. That was a fair. I'm not going to lie. That was a fair question. Yeah. I agree. I agree with them. And I don't know if you peep, but she kind of hit him with the ageism thing at first. Oh, you're half my age. I'm like, ma'am, that doesn't mean anything. If I'm 20 years old and you 70 years old, I know some very wise 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-olds that's full of wisdom. Just because you old, but then again, I've met other people that's in their 60s and 70s and be dumb as a box of rocks. You know what I mean? So that yeah, she tried to check him with that. I don't know if you peeped that, but I was like, wait, what?
I did. Yeah, I heard him. Yep, I caught it.
Yeah. So me personally, so far so good, and I'm loving that. First of all, I didn't even know that they were. I don't know what. They're probably from either Great British or something like that. Maybe somewhere from the English thing. Because I didn't notice. I saw I heard the accent. I'm like, wait, what's happening here? Keep going.
Right.
what we need to do is divorce the definition of feminism from the way in which you clearly see some individuals as using it as a tool to whip the likes of you with and your rights with. I will go back to read the Oxford Dictionary definition of feminism, the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
Very interestingly, when I looked it up in the Oxford Dictionary, it says you should pronounce it feminism, which seems to have gone out of fashion. And I think that's
Well, that was before even I was born.
But I think that's Mutaz's point, that words evolve,
Yeah.
and actually what you're saying about a dictionary definition is all perfectly fair and true, but Mutaz's point is absolutely spot on. It has become a political advocacy of something. I'm all in favour, strongly in favour, of equality before the law. I think it is the most fundamental principle of British law. But that doesn't mean that I believe that there is equality of all genders. I don't actually think there are more than two genders anyway. And this judge is on about there being a whole slew of genders. That's very odd, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. Again, in my opinion, he brought up a great defense. You may not, if you say you don't agree with DEI, that's not you saying that okay, you're against DEI or anything like that. It just may be believed, like he said, you're against the politics up under the DEI. Feminism is the same thing. Hey, listen, it's not, if I say I'm not with feminism, I'm not saying I'm against feminism. I'm just not with the politics. You know what I mean? Same thing with like, you know, with voting, same thing with things that goes on in our community. There's a lot of things that you do or do not subscribe to. That doesn't mean that you are against it or, you know, have a hatred towards it. You just don't agree with the politics that's behind it. That was a great point. That was a great point. I love that he executed himself, his thoughts very, very well.
Yeah, he did.
Very, very well. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm listen, I am very, very happy, first of all, to have you on. You know, I don't know, first of all, I don't know if you want to say anything before we close out, because I know I don't want to take too much of your time. So, but yeah, no, I'm telling you right now, man, we definitely have to do this. Again, I really want to do this hopefully the second time we do this, I'm really hoping we can do an actual live session. But yeah, no, do you have any other closing? Let me close this. Do you have any anything else you want to say? First of all, I want you to shout your channel out again, so everybody, of course, again, like I said, I'm gonna put it up in the link and in the comment section for everybody to follow and tag the channel. But shout your channel out again for everybody.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, you can check me out on Wayne's Perspective on YouTube. And like I said, I do have this on Facebook as well. Let me see. Well, yeah. So it's www.youtube.com/@WM Perspective1984. Again, that's www.youtube.com/@WM Perspective1984. I do have a hip hop blog too, and the story behind that is that, well, first off, this is under www.medium.com/@WDM625. So what I did there is previously I had a blog on Blogger. And what I basically did was I talked a lot about hip hop. I reviewed albums. I talked about current issues that was happening. I did a lot because, you know, I'm a longtime hip hop fan too. Everybody who knows me knows that about me. So what I did was I transferred, well, no, not transfer all of my work, but I still had access to like my original writings because the domain that I had, it was purchased by somebody else because I was supposed to renew it every year, but I didn't. But thankfully, all that work that I did, it was still saved. So the best stuff that I did, I was able to pretty much copy and paste it, put it on the medium.com page and just do some edits here and there. So all that stuff is on there. We talking about work from 2012 all the way up to what, 2018 or something like that.
Right.
You know, so you can check me out there as well. Yeah. So just mainly those two. The Instagram thing, I'm not going to plug that as of yet because I done started and stopped the Instagram page so many times. But if it takes off, quote unquote, then I'll shout that one out. But the main ones that I mentioned, those are the only ones.
Okay. Okay. Perfect, man. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, we definitely gonna do this again. This ain't no one-time thing. Yeah, I look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get that situated, man. Definitely for sure. We're gonna do a live, and this is gonna be something also a mental note that I need to make for myself because I keep telling myself I've always having this conversation with myself in my head. I'm like, I gotta go live, I gotta do this, I gotta do that because I think the last time I did a live was I want to say 7, maybe 8 months ago. It maybe a little bit longer because I used to do a lot of live sessions, but YouTube used to always block my channel, man. Like I used to hate it. There was times where I almost gave up on YouTube, and stuff like that. But because I was speaking on police brutalities and the things that's going on, I did videos on I don't know if you remember Ahmed Arbery, Botham Jean, Breonna Taylor, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
those topics got
yeah.
I almost got strikes on my channel because I was talking about that. YouTube listed it as inciting riots, cyber threats against government officials, all that stuff. I'm thinking the damn police was about to come knock on my damn door. You know what I mean? So so I kind of strayed away from the live sessions because of that. But I think what I was going to do is when we start doing lives, we just want to keep it on a certain topics because you know how it is. We have freedom of speech, but not really. So
right. Yep, you're right about that. And those were sensitive topics, but come on now.
yeah. But it needed to be said. You know what I mean? And that was a time to speak on it. Was when it first happened. You know what I mean? Not years down the line when everything gets like, no, we need to speak on it now and speak on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm very, very happy to have you on. We were talking about this for several weeks. So the fact that we finally got this locked in and ready to go, man, it means a lot to me, and I'm wishing you nothing but the best with, first of all, with your channel, with your business pages, and also too with you running for the House of Representatives. We're wishing you nothing but the best, brother. I know it may not be within the next couple of years, but whenever you do decide to sit down and figure that out, we wish you nothing but the best. Yeah, man.
Same to you. I appreciate it. But yeah, we're gonna definitely do this again. Yeah.
Thank you, man.